Hey everyone, I'm the Rev, and once again, this is James Baldwin. And James is a real-life GT3 driver and sim racer. And on his channel, he's compared iRacing, LMU, and AMS2 to real life. And a few weeks ago, James released this video where he did exactly the same thing on Raceroom. Now, at the end of these videos, James sets a best lap so that you can see how close he gets to a real-life time. And in the first of my Rev versus James Baldwin videos, this happened as I took on his time round Spa on Automobilista 2. I was more than a little made up to beat James's time round Spa. So once again, on his Raceroom video, James set a time round Spa, a 2 minutes and 20.0. So using James's settings, we jumped into the car to see if we could do it again.
Hold on to your butts.
Now straight away, I'd been on Le Mans Ultimate all week, so I knew that I was going to have to get used to the car, the track and Raceroom itself, as I hadn't driven it for a long time. But luckily, it didn't take me long to get back used to it. Within a lap, I was quite confident with the car, I was quite confident with the handling, and I think I'd forgotten just how fantastic Raceroom felt. It's a great sim, really underrated. So as we came into the bus stop, we were going to get the time that we were going to have to work with. What kind of gap would I need to bring down to take on James Baldwin? What's this going to be? I was hoping for the first lap to be within 2 to 3 seconds. 2 minutes 21.9. So that's where we started. That's what we've got to work with. Okay. So you've got to find 2 seconds. How long will it take us to do it? So I returned to the pits to roll my sleeves up, get a full tank of juice, and head back onto the track and try and bring that time down. I had 2 seconds to find, and with Rachel downstairs making a vegetable stir fry, I knew I only had a short amount of time to beat it in this stint. And unfortunately for me, let's just say this stint didn't start too well. Oh dear God, in the barrier. Now it's fair to say after that spin, the problem in this stint, it wasn't pace. It was track limits. There was more than one track limit notification. Now, when I say more than one, I mean about 1 million. If there's one thing Raceroom is strict on, it's track limits. And I think I'd got a bit blasé playing the other sims and I was pushing too hard, so I was constantly getting that message popping up. It's what we'll call a touch frustrating, to say the least. However, luckily, with Rachel shouting upstairs that the stir fryer was ready, this was the lap that I was going to improve. What would it be? How much closer would I get to James Baldwin? 2 minutes and 20.690, and that's where I had to end this stint. We would go again tomorrow, boys. So with a change of hoodie and a bit of an adjustment to the field of view, powered up with a bit of Monster, as per the norm, we were ready to go. But unfortunately for me, this stint seemed to go exactly the same way that the first one went. With track limit warning, after track limit warning, after spin. Ah, you thought it was going to be another track limit warning, didn't you? Well, there it is, don't worry. Stupid notification. But then finally, after 8 laps of track limit warnings, I was able to put something half decent together. I've got 2 purple sectors, and all I've got to go is Blanchimont and the bus stop. Surely I wasn't going to get a track limit warning now. On the brakes, down to first. Keep the car balanced on the way in, gentle with the throttle. Get the power down, and let's see what this time is. How much closer, if any, was I going to be? 2 minutes 21.1. But I wasn't finished there. Just the very next lap, I'd done a personal best, sector 2, and I was 4 tenths up coming into the bus stop. Don't cock this up, Rev. Balance the car on the throttle. As I nailed the throttle, it was still half a second. What was the lap time going to be? 2 minutes 20.656. We were closing the gap, but we still had half a second or more to find. And it took me another 4 laps to make any kind of improvement whatsoever. But I was chipping away at that time. Coming out of the bus stop, 2 tenths up, and we managed to drop it down to a 2 minutes and 20.424. So you might think with a good few laps under my belt, I was about to crack it, but no. I once again said hello to my good friend, the track limit notification. It's fair to say that I was having an absolute nightmare, and it took a good 13, yes that's right, 13 laps later for me actually to get up on a split again. This lap was going really well. Over 3/10, that's exactly what I needed to beat James Baldwin.
Oh, come on!
Needless to say, I was absolutely fuming. Unfortunately, my time in this session was now coming to a close. I had enough time to do about 3 more laps. I had an appointment as my mother needed a carpet cleaner putting together. Don't ask. But regardless, it was now or never. The next couple of laps I had to get this done. So a steely-eyed, determined reverend, he got straight on the throttle, he was up as he came out of La Source, and we headed down to Eau Rouge. This had to be good. Hooked it up really nicely, just managed to not go over the track limits. That was virtually full throttle and I was really happy with that. As you can see the split was going up massively. This is exactly what we needed. I could actually feel the pressure inside me. It was really weird. It was now or never. This part of the track was so difficult. If you got too much on the throttle, then the traction control would kick in and it would literally suck all your power away. So you had to be dead careful on the throttle. This right-hander now, before No Name, I was constantly outbraking myself, but this time I managed to cut it back and get on the throttle nice and early. No Name, that's another one where you have to balance the throttle, otherwise the traction control will kick in and just suck all your power. Coming down now to Pouhon, we've got half a second up on this lap. Do not bottle this rev, you absolute bottle job merchant. With Pouhon out the way, I'd like to say that it was plain sailing from here, but it was far from it. This right and left, they'd been causing me issues too. I kept on tucking the front onto the curbs, and that would cause the car to oversteer on the exit. This was not too bad, drop it to second, try and grab the apex. Get on the power nice and early, we're up by 3.9, and I need 3.7. This is gonna be close, this rev. Foot to the floor at this point, there's nothing else I can do. I've just got to hope that I don't make a complete mess of Blanchimont and the bus stop. Less than 3.74 now. This is going to be so tight, it's untrue. As we come out of Blanchimont, the time is creeping up. I need 3.7. I'm up by 4/10. Onto the brakes. Get on the curbs, balance it, 4.5. Nail it. The rev's got his hand up, he's already celebrating, but what was the time going to be? 2 minutes and 19.935, we'd done it again. We'd beaten James Baldwin. And well, at times like these, there's only one thing to do.
Well, this calls for a celebration. I will.
So once again, the rev had beaten real-life GT3 driver and sim racer James Baldwin. Now I can't stress enough that this whole video is just tongue-in-cheek. I love James Baldwin's videos, I think he's a top lad, I love watching him, really entertaining. I've got all the respect in the world for what he does. He's miles better than me and he's miles faster, but I have still enjoyed making these videos, having a laugh doing it, and I've enjoyed trying to beat his times. I hope you've enjoyed it too. If you like what I do on the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. As always, I've been the Reverend, thank you very much for watching.